Hello and welcome to another episode of the Bad Ideas Garage. My name is Steven and with me is this 2009 Pontiac G6 Convertible that was free. Yes, free is a great price as always. The reason why this one was free is because that whole folding top situation didn't work, and also it had been sitting for a couple of years because of that, and also the previous owner told me that as she was driving it, saying that the top wasn't secure, so that's really annoying. She parked it, and then when we revived it, this happened. That whole smoke situation, yeah, power steering pump has already been replaced. However, I heard that there's still a chirp that's coming from the fan belt area, and so today we're going to be doing a little bit of an investigation, although I think it is the alternator. I've bought a new one for us to use today. On top of that, I'm going to take a look at these headlights. You have to pull them out from the body just to replace the bulbs, and then this one I found it needed a little bit of wiring, so we'll be doing that as well. And then after that, hopefully we'll get this buttoned up, and then it's a beautiful day here in Oregon, which is very odd for February, so I hopefully am going to be able to drive around topless. As always, thank you for watching our videos. Hopefully this is helpful for anyone who has a G6, maybe a G6 Convertible. These are actually really cool cars. And like and subscribe below. As always, we appreciate your support.
Surprise!
When I first saw the Pontiac, I thought it was in pretty tough shape, but when I looked closer, I realized it was actually in pretty good condition. It just really needed a bath. We hooked it up to another car, and with a couple of cranks, it fired right up as well, and it sounded good until we heard the undeniable noise of a power steering pump that was very unhappy.
Who's from that?
So after a quick assessment, we realized that it wasn't a good idea for me to drive it with a power steering like that, so my friend Colton towed it back to his shop where he replaced the power steering pump for me. He also did a little bit of diagnosis on the wiring on the top to figure out why it wasn't working. And then in the meantime, we realized that one of the headlights wasn't working either, so I had to figure out what was going on with that. Later, we figured out the alternator was making some noise, and so that got replaced. And then finally, my friend Wolf did an amazing detail of this before it was getting prepared for cars and bids. So this is fun. So these are held in basically by the bodywork. You have to take out the whole headlight in order to access the back. So that's cool. Found out that this one had some interesting wiring in it, but now it works. And this one I'm going to try to let it dry out. Yeah, this is probably not factory. That's fun.
All right, so these are kind of weird how these are all set up, but once you open one of these back up, you'll see that a little bit of wiring right here. Yeah, that's definitely not factory. So I ended up buying a new what's called a pigtail. So I bought a new pigtail, so I'm going to be just cutting that off and replacing it right now. Da-da-da-da, here's the new pigtail. All right, so I've already crimped this, and I'm going to be using these solder connectors that all you have to do is hit with a heat gun. It's actually my first time ever using it. I'm pretty excited. It goes one way. Wonderful. Okay, we're about to find out if this is, Okay, finagling this in. Next thing is, I think that alternator is making some noise, so we're going to go and take that off. right, so that looks pretty good. Okay, I have that all tightened.
Here we go.
One of the main reasons why we got the car for free was because the retractable hardtop did not work. When we first got the car, Colton and Preston were able to get it to open, but when it came to the Bad Ideas garage, the annoying top not secured continued to beep while I was driving the car. Thanks to a friend who has a really awesome diagnostic computer, we were able to look at one of the dozen sensors that was not reporting the correct value. As we found out, is that General Motors from the factory has zip ties that hold these wires on the side in place, and some of those zip ties had been replaced over the years, which were not exactly holding the wires where they needed to be. So some of the wires were getting pinched. So we fixed those, and then I found this one wire that was just barely holding on by the jacket, and since it was disconnected, it was not reporting the correct value, and that is why the message continued to persist. So at first, I hilariously used this wire nut just to make sure that that connection was indeed the problem, and it was, but rest assured, I used one of those solder connectors that I showed you earlier in the video, and then ever since then, with a little bit of lubrication on a couple of these points, we were able to use the top flawlessly ever since. It might be a cop-out, but I don't do any of the detailing of my own cars. I'm very fortunate to have my neighbor Wolf, who's been detailing cars for about 50 years, who works on all of my vehicles. He's absolutely incredible, and I'm definitely encouraging him to start his own YouTube channel to show some of his before and afters, just like this Subaru, which was absolutely amazing. So when I was done with all of the work mechanically on the car, in order to prepare it to be sold on Cars and Bids, I took it down to him, and he made this look absolutely amazing. So this is where we started, and this is where we ended. Here are a couple of clips of the video that I made, and I'll put the link in the description below, of the review of what it's like to drive the Pontiac G6 GT Convertible.
So that is our restoration video of our 2009 Pontiac G6 GT Convertible. Now I did try to get it prepared to sell it on Doug DeMiro's Cars and Bids webpage. Sorry, let's try that again. Cars and Bids website, but I didn't make it to it. I applied, I didn't get through it, but they were really nice about it, gave me a couple of recommendations, and I don't know, maybe this 1982 Porsche 924 might end up on that website at some point. Maybe one of the fire trucks, well, who knows. I hope that this was an inspiration for you if you have a Pontiac G6, or maybe if you're looking to pick up a project car. There's a lot of things that we did in these videos that it was just me going on to YouTube, finding a video and learning how to do it. So I will be making some how-to videos for a couple of the projects that we did with some more details and some more instructional steps, because those are really helpful to me as I was restoring that car. I don't have the most amount of automotive knowledge or experience, but I have a little bit of space and a little bit of time and a Harbor Freight here in town. So with a couple of tools, a lot of the projects that I was able to do, I just learned on the fly. So we do have some lovely videos coming up, including a couple of restoration videos of this Porsche 924. This is the $1,000 Porsche. Maybe you saw our YouTube short where I also got a $300 Porsche 924. That one is going to be a parts car. Kind of makes me a little sad that I'm dismantling a complete car, but that one has its own slew of issues as well. So on our 924 here, the idea is that all of this mess needs to get sorted out. It has some fuel delivery issues. I think I know what's going on with it. Those are probably some famous last words. And then once that is in place, the parts car has a near perfect interior. This thing is absolutely spotless. Apparently that car was off the road since 1996, so that interior is really good. And I'll be working with my buddy Wolf to be able to get that interior into this car. And then I'm going to see if my wife likes it, because if she likes it, well, I guess we're probably going to keep it and have more videos about how to keep a Porsche on the road. I want to thank everyone who helped us get to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you if you're a subscriber. If you haven't subscribed yet, like and subscribe below. I really appreciate that. It's been crazy to get to that point, and it makes me feel kind of like a big deal. So thank you very much. It's a really cool way to be able to tell some of the stories of some of these oddball cars, maybe unloved cars, and then show people that, you know, you can do a lot of this work on your own in your own garage and then have a heck of a lot of fun doing it. So that's all the time we have for this video on the Bad Ideas Garage. We'll catch you later. Thank you.